Hi, I'm Rachel with Easy Peasy Meals, and today I want to show you how you can prepare for a party by using a frozen item like the Delimex Taquitos, Tamales, or rolled tacos, and then making some really fun dips and sauces to put with them to amp them up a little. So I'm just going to pop these in the oven. I already put them on my tray. It takes 11 minutes. So I'm going to try to make 3 dips and sauces during that 11-minute cook time. Wish me luck. So this is going to be Cowboy Caviar, and it takes a few different ingredients. So I'm just going to start with my tomatoes, and I'm just going to chunk them up. And then just add it all into a big bowl. And again, base it on your preference. If you don't love beans, don't put a ton in. We're going to add just a little sprig of cilantro. So I like to just chop it and then turn it and do it one more time to get a little finer. Add that in. Then comes your avocado. So my favorite way to add the avocado in is just to slice it right in the skin. And then you're gonna take your spoon and pop it on out. See how easy that is? And very little mess. Once you have all of your main ingredients in the bowl, I like to give it a stir. You're going to stir it again when you put your sauce in, but this gives you an idea of how well proportioned each ingredient is. So you want to make sure if you want to add more beans or corn, you do it at this stage. As you can see, there's a nice distribution of the ingredients, a nice colorful rainbow. So we're ready to make our dressing that goes on top of this. So you don't need a lot of lime juice, just enough to give it a nice coating to add a little extra flavor. So about a tablespoon or 2 is all you need. So I'm just going to add it into my bowl here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning. So I'm going to put some cumin in, and not a ton, maybe like a half a teaspoon is all you need. A little bit of chili powder, or you can use a hot sauce like a Tabasco, and some garlic granules. So add just a touch of each of those in, give it a stir. I like to give it a quick taste to make sure that the flavors are well combined and that I don't have too much of one or the other. So that was really good. So I'm going to just pour that over my salad and give it a stir. And there you have it, Cowboy Caviar. Okay, we're ready for dip number 2. This is just gonna be a 5-minute blender salsa, and you can find the recipe for it on easypeasymeals.com. So what you're going to need is a couple of tablespoons of minced garlic, and everything just goes right in your blender. Then you're going to need about a tablespoon of salt. So you're gonna put your tablespoon of salt, and then you're going to do a tablespoon or 2 of sugar. If you have sweet tomatoes, you won't need it, but sometimes it helps just bring a little bit of that bitterness out of the tomatoes and makes your salsa a little yum. We're gonna do about a tablespoon of lime juice. Then we're going to put in our seasonings. Chili powder, and you're going to need a full tablespoon of that. I always like to put just a tiny bit of garlic granules and a little cumin because I just love cumin on everything. Depending on how spicy your family likes your salsa, adjust the amount of jalapeno you use and how many seeds you put in. You always want to be careful when de-seeding peppers that you don't get that hot capsaicin oil on your fingers because it can sting and burn. So you got your jalapeno and add it in. Now if you want some more spice, you can add a serrano or some other pepper that has a little more body to it, but for now let's keep it mild. Then we're going to put in vinegar, and you need 4 tablespoons. Now we're going to add our 28-ounce can of tomatoes. You can use whole or diced. And about half your cilantro. Just about half a bunch is all you need. You know, let's do a 1/4 of a bunch and about half of your green onions as well. And your blender's gonna blend these all up, so you don't need to chop them. The blender does the work for you. Then we're going to put our lid on. Okay, you blend for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then we're going to add in some more of our green onion and the other half of our bunch of cilantro. You use about half a bunch of cilantro for this recipe. Then we're going to add 1 can of petite diced tomatoes, and if you want additional onion, some red onion, you can add that in at this time. point you have a pretty nice salsa, like a chunky salsa that looks kind of like restaurant style. You're going to add your last can. Just barely blend it so that it stays a little chunky so you get some variety in your salsa. Okay, that's it. Your blender salsa is done. At this stage, I usually say give it a little taste, see if you like it. If you don't, add a little spice or whatever it is that you're missing, and then you're good. Okay, we're going to start with dip number 3. It's a creamy avocado tomatillo ranch that you make in your blender, and it whips up super quick. So let's start adding stuff to our blender. We're going to start with our avocado, and you just need 1. Just a little chunk of I was going to say asparagus. Just a little bit of cilantro, not asparagus. Some garlic. Some mayo. Some heavy whipping cream or milk. Now you can use buttermilk here, but I like to just use heavy whipping cream or milk and then add just a touch of vinegar in, and then it's essentially the same thing as buttermilk, but you don't have to buy an entire carton of buttermilk to keep on hand. Some lime juice, some green onion, some dry chives. So for this we're going to put in some garlic granule, some chili powder, and of course, my favorite, some cumin. So you might notice we're using a lot of the same ingredients for all 3 of these fun dips and sauces, but they're all gonna turn out really different. We're gonna add a little jalapeno for some spice, and again, just add however much you feel comfortable with as far as your personal flavor profile goes. The thing that makes this dressing so delicious are tomatillos. Chop them in half and throw them in your blender. And then some sour cream. And turn it on. Then, like with any recipe, give it a taste and make sure you don't need to adjust your spices. There we have it. We have our Cowboy Caviar, our blender salsa, and our creamy avocado tomatillo ranch, all made in 5 minutes or less while our Delimex taquitos were cooking in our oven. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me using hashtag AskEasyPeasy, and I love to hear from you, so don't hesitate. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Thank you very much.
All right.
Now I'm gonna dig in.